Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the False Prophets podcast. I'm your beautiful and gracious host, Phil Rizdon. Unfortunately, we do not have my boy Manny Perez with us today. I know. He's dealing with some things, dealing with a lot of family stuff. Shout out to the homie. He wish he could be here if he could, but this shit is tough right now. So, we're missing Manny Perez. We're missing him, man. We're missing the Dominican Demon, the Caquito King. Okay, the Plantanos player, the Archduke of Afuera. We're missing him. He's gone. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have many friends. I don't know if you know this, but I am very hard to be around. Okay, people? So to have at least one person with me every time, that means something. But to lose a motherfucker, it's tough. It's tough. But he'll be back. But while he's gone, let's talk about another friend of mine. I just want to do a quick shout out to my boy Moxie Approved, because recently I saw that he got shouted out by Charleston White. So clap it up for the homie. Black excellence. We love to see it. Great shit, man. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, man. This black YouTuber shit is fun as fuck, bro. It's fun as fuck. Black entertainers helping black entertainers is a beautiful fucking thing, bro. Moxie Approved. I've seen him since, the pandemic when he first fucking started, putting shit out there, getting small amounts of views. And this nigga's blown up. I'll be honest with you. He's blown up. And not always with shit that I always agreed with. But I gotta give it to him. Man. So that's what I really love seeing is a lot of us out there doing things, trying to make better for ourselves and for other creators like us. I mean, he's been on this show multiple fucking times. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing. I think when a lot of people create a lot of different shit, there's this energy of competition with each other. But what I'm seeing right now with a lot of internet creators and the way that they do things, which is really cool, is there's a lot of trickle down, assistance, a lot of trickle down help and shout outs and shit like that. Which I feel like didn't exist in the old industry. Let's call it let's give it a buck. It did not exist in the old industry before the internet was around, bro. You were either tapped in or you weren't, my nigga. And you could be tapped in, but you do one thing and immediately all that shit is immediately gone. People want to talk about canceling now, and that's true. But if you get canceled now, you can at least have some sort of form or semblance of your former audience. Back then, bro, if you were off the train, you were off the train, and that was it. So I just want to say, thank you to him for doing the show, and shout out to him. Keep it up, brother. Keep doing things. Oh my God, bro, it's been a long week. Sorry if I sound a little congested. I'm a little sick right now. I don't think it's COVID. I don't think it's long COVID either. I don't have the shakes. I don't have a third ear growing out of my neck. So that's a good sign. I feel like that's a good sign, right? Fauci's not hunting me down with his suicide squad of people, right? Right? Fedra. If anybody watches The Last of Us, Fedra's not kicking down my door, so I think I'm okay. I just have a scratchy voice. I just sound like Natasha Lyonne right now. But that's really fucking it. But I'm here for you. I know we've been slacking and we're trying to get back on it, but I swear to God, bro. You motherfuckers, bro. I'll be honest with you. I know you guys think we dropped the ball. We are trying, and God has put in a million things in our way, destroying our efforts. I'll be honest with you. Every time we put some shit out, some technical shit happens, and we can't use the episode for nothing. It's crazy. It's gotten to that point. This shit is wild, man. This shit is wild, bro. I don't even know how to handle it anymore. Last week, we recorded 3 episodes of this fucking show. 3 episodes. And we can only use 1. Okay? So I'm on my last legs with this shit. I'm trying, this motherfucker's not even here, and I'm trying to, come in here and do some goddamn overtime. But enough of me bitching and shit. You guys don't want to hear that the sausage gets made. Nigga, I know. I'm not famous. Everybody's listening to this shouting at the radio like, nigga, get on with it. What are you talking about? That's true. I feel you, man. So let's get into this shit, man. First off, I think, let's go meta. I'm a podcast, and we're about to talk about another podcast, the Joe Budden podcast, and his constant hateration that has been happening. I don't know if anybody's noticed it. I feel like everybody's kind of noticed it. Joe Budden's been a notorious hater for a very, very long time. Joe Budden's always been a hater. He's the hater king. You know, that's what he is. He's always been like that. But I feel like since the Michael B. Jordan thing, he's kicked it into high gear. Is anybody, am I crazy? I feel like he's like his light skinnedness has went Super Saiyan. Like his light skin pettiness has reached Super Saiyan God levels. like you can't even read it on the power levels anymore. It's way over 9,000. It's to infinity right now. This nigga is hitting the light skinned petty nigga singularity. He's becoming one with his own pettiness. And in one way, it's beautiful. In another way, it's like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Okay? I understand when people get annoyed or say something, someone like Michael B. Jordan is corny and stuff. I get that. But now he's even going at other people like Logic and shit as well too. Apparently Logic recently did a cover of Ice Cube's It Was a Good Day. I recently watched it. It's a slowed down, kind of like funky, sung out version of It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. And apparently Joe Budden had a problem with that. Okay? And here's the thing, him and Logic have had a long standing have had like a long standing kind of feud. I don't know if you call it feud if it's only one-sided and the one person is Joe Budden, but for fairness we'll call it a feud. But he's always hated Logic, and I get it. Logic definitely looks like he used to be a hall monitor in the 3rd grade. He does have the look of, his face looks like he's a Make-A-Wish kid, but he's a grown man, so it's like, how? You know what I mean? I feel like anything he wears looks like his clothes are too big for him, like a child wearing, grown-up clothes. So he's an easy target, okay? He's an easy fucking target. All right. And, people pick on Logic for his multiracialness or whatever, which I feel like is fucked up. That's the main thing. I think with this whole Joe Budden thing is he's talking shit about Logic and basically saying that you have no right to, I don't know, like talk as like a black person or some shit, which I feel like is fucked up because I feel like, not for nothing, people give Logic shit, but I feel like he's always been on the team. You know what I mean? And I feel like he's not getting appreciated. He's tried so hard. He really has, if you think about it. I mean, if anything, he's like slightly pandering to the black side by doing an Ice Cube It Was a Good Day thing. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I don't think he's shitting on the black side. So as long as he's not shitting on the black side, it's cool. But, Joe Budden, he's had, one hit his whole entire life. So for him, this is, a bone that he has to pick with somebody. I think really the whole thing is, because I'm an avid watcher of the show, I'm a big hate watcher. Okay? So I'm the same way. That's the I'm shitting on Joe Budden, but at the same time, I bet you me and him are actually pretty fucking close. Okay, because I'm a hater myself too. So I see that type of shit. I can break it down. It's almost like one of those procedural fucking like cop dramas, when they get a criminal and they hire the criminal to hunt down other criminals. I'm that criminal. Okay, I'm the Dexter of being a hater. All right. I am Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can. I can help motherfuckers find other motherfuckers who are hating. All right. I have my doctorate in hating. I have a master's degree in hating. I went to Dartmouth for hating. This is my thing. Okay. And I fucking see it. I think the whole thing with Joe Budden is honestly, bro, the nigga's just mad he wasn't born in this era. Because if you listen to any of Joe Budden's fucking music, his shit is soft as fuck. Okay. And I like soft music. I'm a big fan of Drake. I like Logic. I think those people are good rappers. There's tons of other rappers that sing about their feelings. Kid Cudi, all sorts of shit. Those dudes are dope to me. I feel like if you listen to a lot of Joe Budden shit, a lot of Joe Budden shit is shit that couldn't pop off in his era, but if it was released in this era, it would blow up. It would explode. I'm not saying he would definitely be like the hugest thing. I don't think he would be Drake. But he would definitely be in a Tory Lanez, ranking, minus the shooting women because he likes to punch them. But I feel like he'd be doing a lot. He'd be doing a lot, and I think he knows that he would be doing a lot, and that's why he gives a lot of people shit like J. Cole and shit like that. J. Cole, Logic, Michael B. Jordan, because he's a safe black dude in a certain way. As far as demeanor, he's the safe black dude, and this is the era of the safe black dude. He was a safe black dude who had to come up in the early 2000s and in the late 90s, okay? Back then, you couldn't be a safe black dude. Just to survive, you could not be a safe black dude. But now, it's a bit more okay. I'm don't get me wrong, niggas are still going to do 2-hour-long podcasts about how you're corny, but it still is okay and your career can flourish. Back in the day, niggas had to pretend that they weren't safe. Niggas had to advertise. I mean, shit, talk about 50 Cent. Niggas had to advertise how unsafe they were just to get a buck out here. Okay? Now you got people like Travis Scott and Cardi B and shit doing McDonald's meals. There's a difference. There's a difference with these things. People are more marketable now. Sorry, my chin just hit that shit. People are more marketable now, and I think he sees that, and I think he's a little bit salty about it. I know he's happy podcasting and shit, but I think there's a part of him that still wants the glory of being a rapper. And my nigga, you're never gonna have it. Okay, there's specks of gray in your beard. It's over. All right, you're not Nas. All right, it's over, and it just has to happen that way. So leave that light-skinned man alone. Leave that man alone. Jesus Christ. I listened to the song. It wasn't that bad. I listened to the song. It wasn't that bad at all, man. And that's the thing. I think also, too, with the internet, I think we spend so much time, like, picking on each other for inconsequential shit. Niggas love to see somebody fall from grace. They love to see somebody trip and fall. You know what I mean? It's weird because the internet, if someone's disabled or something like that or whatever, and they're triumphing against something, they're like a heavy underdog, very poor or something, and blew up and became rich or something. Like, you see those types of videos, those motivational type things. People are into that. But if you're just like a normal person and you're taking an L, niggas love to see a normal person lose. A person who's almost abnormal by how shitty their life is, we want to see them win. But a normal nigga that we feel like we're neck and neck with, we want to see him drop dead. And it's toxic. It's toxic. And from a black belt, 3rd degree black belt hater, I think it's toxic as well too. It's delicious, but it's toxic. We got to change that vibe, yo. We got to change that vibe. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, man. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Especially now that Joe Budden is now the king of podcasting. This nigga is the demon king of hating. And I don't know where humanity's going to go with this. You can't put that light-skinned nigga in the driver's seat. We are all going to die. I don't fucking know what's going to happen, man. This shit is wild. Shit is wild. But, to each his own, hate logic if you want to. My whole thing though is like, bro, you don't want to go against, you don't want to go against the multiracials. Okay, that's a whole nother tribe as well too that we need to start talking about. You don't want to go against the multiracials. There's a lot more of them than you think. Okay, those like multiracial black people especially are almost like the Jews of black people. If you talk to Moxie, he's like, we're all Jews. But for me in this podcast, we're gonna put them in that section where it's like you don't always know who is who, and they're quite powerful. I mean, let's be honest with you, man. A lot of black people are race mixing right now, or in the last 20 years have. So there's a lot of black people that you might not realize that are a bit darker skinned, but they are actually half white. You know what I mean? And you're going to go around talking this shit, and before you know, one of these niggas is going to lure you behind a dumpster and beat that ass. All right? There's a lot more of them, and they move in silence because that's the white side. All right? There's the nigga side that's mad at you, and then there's the white side that's diabolical. And you need to pay attention to that shit, man. Don't let these half black niggas sneak up on you, dog. Watch your back. This is just me talking to Joe Budden. It's fucking crazy. What else is happening today? Let's venture out. We're having fun here. Chris Rock's new special finally aired on Netflix, which is honestly, I want to say just a huge Wu-Tang W for Chris Rock right now. Shout out to the homie, man. Like, by homie, I mean guy that I don't know and I've only seen on television. Shout out to the man though, killing it. If you guys don't know, his Netflix, show, his Netflix special, was actually live streamed, and it was live streamed actually a few days ago. And I want to say, like, big up to Netflix and big up to him for doing that. I think we're gonna see a new trend of this type of thing, of like kind of live streaming. Basically, I think what streaming's trying to do is subtly bring the order and the form of television back, because truthfully, the way television was formatted didn't help the consumer, but it did help for ad revenue. And I think right now Netflix and a lot of these other places are trying to get a lot of ad revenue, and they're trying to make the best formations and the best scheduling for these ads. That's really why people like live things. I was watching on a bunch of, different podcasts. We were talking about all this stuff, and what's the point of it? Oh, it's going to be live streamed, but then you're going to get the final product and you can watch it whenever. Oh, all these Hulu things are episodic now. What's the point? It's really just to drive. It's to be more quantifiable when it comes to ad revenue. So if you are just doing, something, some Netflix shit or whatever, right? Somebody picks something to just randomly watch, or let's even say Hulu, because Hulu has ads, right? You pick something for them to watch or whatever. Yeah, you're gonna have those ads, but at the same time, that person could be kind of checking in and out. Who's to say that these ads are even geared to that person? You know what I mean? Because maybe they just randomly picked something to watch. Whereas if you have something that's live, something like Chris Rock has a very specific demographic that he might be appealing to. So now you can campaign your ads to certain products and stuff that his demographic would buy. And then from there work, and kind of reverse engineer things and make the biggest bang for your buck. I know I'm ad nerding out right now, but I feel like I just had to say that. Number two, I do want to say I thought this special was great. I know a lot of people were shit talking it. There was some things that I thought were a little personally, I thought the top half of this special was great. I'm never going to spoil anything. The top half of the special was great. The ending wasn't so good, I would say. The top half, he's kind of making more like average kind of jokes. And when I mean average, I just mean standard relatable jokes. And then second half, he kind of got more into this whole like talking about how rich he was. And to a certain extent, I was like, this is funny if he could figure it out. You know what I mean? But it seemed like that needed a little bit more time. And I think he really piggybacked off of black women a lot and like kind of wokeness. Here's the thing, I think with him, he really tried to like ride this wave. I think he's trying to ride this line of being like explicit and like raunchy and also being woke. And I don't think you can really do that unless you're really going to open your chest and expose yourself and have certain things that are a bit more raunchy or a bit more conservative that you stand on and you don't budge on. That's his issue. Sorry, guys. But yeah, excuse me. I know, like I said, I'm sick, bro. But I'm, this is Jordan during the, Jordan in the finals with the flu, bro. I'm out here for you guys. I think that's really what it is. Like, for instance, you heard certain different parts where, he was definitely talking about like abortion and just, trans things and, trans rights and acceptance and all that shit. And you can kind of tell where he's like, what he actually feels. And then you can tell what he thought he should write to get out of how he actually feels. Like there's one part where he's like, I'm down for, abortions, I'm pro-life, but what was it? It's like, I'm pro-life, but not when it applies to me or something like that. Basically saying like, I'm down for abortion in the sense of I have a lot of shit. Okay. So if it's not the right woman, I need an abortion. But at the same time, I think killing children in their, before they're born is wrong. Okay. And that was something that I thought the premise and the idea of it was really funny. And his general chunk of his shit was really, really funny. But that was one thing for me. I was like, I feel like you should kind of be a bit more honest and be like, yeah, no, like the only reason I care about abortion is because I'm rich. Like, go into that. Do like 2 or 3 minutes because of that. Because he did say, he was like, I've paid for more abortions than any woman in here. That's hilarious. That's showing your status, but also showing the reality of the situation is like, bitch, I'm not letting any random woman have my kid. And that's something that I think we can cling to. I think a lot of people get really, really lazy, especially comedians right now. They get lazy and they get fearful, you know? And I think comedy it's not based in right and wrong. Comedy is based in gray. It's built in nuance, right? That's the whole point of comedy, and that's the most potent comedy that you'll get. The best comedy is the comedy that is right and wrong simultaneously, but they still get you to agree in a certain way. And I think now people are like, fuck mixing nuance and getting that reaction. I'll just throw that away. And I'm big enough now where I'll just get to agree with everybody else, and they already like me, so it's fine, and that's great. And you'll still have your people, but you're not going to get new people. And I think eventually people are going to drift off from you, like my whole thing with Chris Rock is, like what happened to him, like what happened to Chris Rock? Am I crazy? But I feel like he just really fell off. I feel like when I was growing up, Chris Rock was Dave Chappelle. He was that guy. And yes, we came from a time where there could only be one black guy on top. And yeah, that's all real. But he was the Dave Chappelle. And I feel like all of that just dissolved. And maybe it's because of this vibe that he's been giving off. I think he's just less potent now. He's not willing to be as potent. Like the whole shit with there's black people and then there's niggas. Yes, that's created a lot of talks with black people and even with white people going back and forth. And what does that really mean? And he might be placating to white people. And it started talks, but you know what? At least it started a conversation. And it had people agreeing and disagreeing, not simply saying, is it funny and it's not funny. I think if you're going to be at that level of that type of guy, that's what you have to do. You have to be funny. You have to be funny. That's rule number one. But it also has to be a certain level of thought-provoking. I feel like Chris Rock hasn't been that level of thought-provoking since like the early 2000s. I mean, this guy used to be in every fucking movie. He was one of those dudes where, you had Down to Earth, you had, Head of State, you had CB4, you had, was he an undercover brother? No, I don't think he was an undercover brother. You even had him in New Jack City. Like, that was earlier in his career, but to have that many movies, bro, that meant something. And those first 3 movies were all movies that he was starring in and were based completely around him as the central character. And now you couldn't find him in one goddamn thing. And I feel like he's just basically kind of almost downgraded himself to just this like club comic. Like basically it was like Chris Rock. Then Cat Williams was kind of clawing up there. He started getting into the drugs. They dismissed him. They found Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart goes everywhere, right? He's the big mainstream guy. Dave Chappelle comes back, but he wants a piece of the real. And I think that's what happened. I think you had kind of more of like these two titans. I think that's really what Kevin Hart and Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle are. It's like you have almost the conservative, Dave Chappelle, and the liberal side, which is Kevin Hart. Idealistically, I think they have the same ideals, but I'm saying Kevin Hart's palatable for the public of any public. Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle is palatable for the public, but also people who aren't as woke. Okay? So don't bite my head off in the fucking comments talking about how Dave Chappelle's not a fucking MAGA head wearing piece of shit. I know, okay? Hop off my fucking dick. But I feel like in those two paradigms, Chris Rock has gotten lost, and he doesn't really know where he fits. And the thing is, I think that what he doesn't know is that you don't really have to fit anywhere, bro. Just talk how you want to talk. I think he sees them, and because they're so dynamic, he takes a piece from here and a piece from there and tries to mold something in the middle where realistically what he should just do is do his own thing and just be him. And I'm sure him is a mixture of them, but in a more pure and honest way. You know, so I feel like he's lost that. I feel like he might even be searching for that. You know, I feel like the Will Smith thing kind of maybe even put a little bit too much pressure on him because he's been coming from that background of losing out to Dave and Kevin Hart, and now the spotlight's back on him in this real way, and he's like, fuck, I haven't had to play that Michael Jordan role of, the play starter guy in years, and I don't know if I can do it. I think he tried to do it, and he didn't necessarily fall flat, but he didn't necessarily stick the dismount either. But it was a good special. There's some really good jokes in there. I'm kind of like a wordplay guy too, which I feel like he kind of does a lot. He has like a lot of alliteration is what I'm kind of like learning more as I've gotten more seasoned as a stand-up comic, and I'm watching more of his stuff. He is really sort of a wordsmith with his stuff, whereas Kevin Hart is more of a personality act out guy, and Dave Chappelle is more of a storyteller. You know what I mean? I feel like out of all the three, Chris Rock is the Seinfeld of all of the three. He just has that type of shit. If you go back and look at that special, I can't really think of anything specific right now, but if you go back to the special you watch, there's a lot of punchlines that have a lot of alliteration and certain things like that. And, he even had one joke where he's talking about how every couple in a commercial is a mixed race couple. You know what I mean? And he was like, I saw one where, it was a Japanese woman married to a caterpillar. The kids were squirrels. It's like, that wasn't that funny. It was like, all right. But you see his kind of vibe and how he presents jokes, and it's not like the other two. It's more in this like kind of zany sometimes and a lot of wordplay type of shit, which I respect. I just think he should have maybe taken a little bit longer to polish it and not put so much weight on the Will Smith thing as well too. Because I felt like the Will Smith part, if I'm being honest, just wasn't really hitting, bro. Like, it was interesting to watch because obviously that was a time and a moment where like time froze for a second and people really focused on that for like days. So I understand he had to talk about that. And I understand why he did a lot of kind of like venting and like shit talking through that. And the whole bitch thing was funny. It was funny the way he said it and everything, but it was just one of those things where it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a moment we all know about already. You didn't really add anything to it. And I mean, I'll speak on this whole thing, as a black man too. It's like, bro, like, I understand that that he's bigger than you and shit, but like, I've never seen Chris Rock, and I've never seen Will Smith. You know what I mean? In person and compared their height. And I'm sure he is a bit bigger than, Chris Rock. That being said though, bro, you're not a kid anymore. You're not 10 years old. Like, bro, you're a grown man. And I've been in those types of situations, not necessarily getting smacked across the face, but I've had somebody, roll up on me or constantly just picking at me. And even if they're big, bro, you have to step up and kind of do something. So if you're not going to step up and do something, the joke you have about it a year later better be fucking fire. Okay? You either do something or the joke you have a year later better be the best fucking joke I ever heard in my life. Because if not, then you were just a pussy for nothing. And I'm not saying that he needs to get on stage and, or I'm not saying that they should have been, smacking each other on stage and rolling around on the floor. I'm just saying after the show, like, yo, what's up, bro? So what's up? What's up? Honestly, I think Chris Rock owed that to himself and to every other comic out there, man, to show not just celebrities, but other people that you can't just step up to comics. Niggas, these are jokes. These are jokes, okay? And if you want to get physical over jokes, over bullshit, over things that everybody else has made fun of you for because you can't handle your household, then you're a fucking asshole. And if you really want to take it there, then we can take it there. I think his whole thing of not approaching it in a weird way has made people think that it's okay to just run up on fucking comedians as if we are talking pure factual statements when we get on stage trying to get a rise out of people. Because that's what we're trying to do, get a rise out of people. And it's just, It is true. It's like, oh, Will Smith, you think you're hard, you're upset about your girl, so you hit the smallest nigga here. It's true. But also, oh, small nigga, you get smacked in the face and you're not at least gonna show something that you have a little bit of backbone. There's plenty of short dudes, there's plenty of small dudes that even if they wouldn't have fought him, even if they, would have gotten beat up or something, they would have, stood 10 toes down. And that's just a fact. And if they wouldn't have, they would have wrote a fire joke about it. Okay, my nigga. So that's my one thing. That's my 10 cents. Go check out the special. The ending is a little but it is what it is. But what else is happening? Sorry, I was looking at the headlines and I forgot about the fact that recently a cartel in Mexico, because if you guys don't know about the Mexico shit that's going down there, it is straight Sicario 1 and 2 back to back. Okay, it is a goddamn double feature out that motherfucker right now. They're having some sort of vacuum for power right now, and so a lot of motherfuckers are like attacking police stations, like gangs are like at war, and they're like attacking public places that they've never attacked before, hitting police stations and all sorts of shit, firebombing cars and everything. And recently, a cartel kidnapped 4 Americans, killed 2 of them. And the crazy thing, killed 2 of them. How sweet, to give Americans on a vacation another vacation. That's really nice of the Mexican people. I do have to say, kudos to that. Makes me want to take a trip to LA and hang out with the cholos. All right, they be giving niggas vacations out there. All right, that's what's up. Paid time off and everything. No, apparently they kidnapped the people. But whoever was running this cartel. Decided that was wrong, felt remorseful about it, and basically tied up his gang members, put them in front of the police station, and put an apology note on them, which is like the kindest thing in the world, which is sweet. There's like, I love how this cartel leader, treats his gang members, treats his associates like they're fucking cookies or something, like a pie cooling on a windowsill. He leaves it for a new neighbor. He's like, hey, I see you moved into the neighborhood. Here's 4 of my best hitmen. I just want to say thanks. I love that a cartel leader, fucking El Chapo's hitting him with the Steve Urkel. Did I do that? Jesus Christ, man. 2 people are fucking dead, man. That's how things are going down there. I don't know. I guess it's better than the alternative of not apologizing. I guess technically you could just not apologize, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, there's a part of me where it's like, fuck you, man. You're a cartel leader. Stick to your guns. If you're an asshole, just be an asshole. Same thing with. It's just like the Chris Rock thing, okay? If you're gonna be an asshole, just be an asshole. Don't be an asshole and then leave an apology note. Fucking say, I don't fuck with trans people. If that's how you feel, don't leave a goddamn note. If you're gonna kill, 2 of the American, people you kidnapped, go full on, kill all 4. What are you doing? No half measures here. Go for everybody. Invade America. Go to Texas. I don't know what's going on out there, man. I don't know what's going on, but some real shit is happening. Speaking of Texas, I'm going to be in Austin, April 19th to 23rd. If anybody wants to catch me for some shows, I'll make sure to put those up in the next episode, not this episode, because I'm still getting some shit done. You love how I set myself up to do work and then immediately got rid of it. I was like, in the next episode, not this one. Let's see, what else is happening? Jake Paul apparently got ganged up on by Floyd Mayweather and 50 of his friends, I believe in Las Vegas, which is very interesting. And, I feel bad for Jake Paul, but can you really blame Floyd Mayweather? The Paul brothers, are they millionaires? Yes. Have they put money in his pocket? Yes. But do they also have very punchable faces? Yes. And I feel like nobody wants to talk about this. Let's really get out there. Everybody wants to talk about Ukraine. Everybody wants to talk about the war on drugs. Everybody wants to talk about feminism. Nobody ever wants to talk about how punchable Jake Paul's face actually is. This is why you come to this podcast, for the nitty gritty, for the truth, for the world news that everybody cares about. And it's true. It's true. Jake Paul has a Jack Harlow face. Both of those guys, I just want to kick down a flight of stairs. Okay? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the unabashed confidence in them. I don't know if it's the blonde beard. I feel like a blonde man should never have like a beard. It's true. It bothers me. I don't know why. I'm not going to explain it either. But there's something about this man that I'm like, I can't stand. He looks like Conor McGregor if he was a pussy. There's something about this guy. So yeah, he got chased down the street. He got chased down the street by Floyd Mayweather and a couple of his goons. And a lot of people are saying that this is an attack. I actually disagree. I think a lot of people just want to come out and discredit a black man, by calling this assault, but give him a chance. I think give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think this assault. I think he may be training Jake Paul for his next boxing event. Okay. All right. Jake Paul fights a lot of people. And what do you need to fight people? You need cardio. Okay. And what's the best cardio? Running away from 50 black guys. All right. That's a pretty solid 5K. Oh yeah. You do one of those? Oh buddy, you're gonna have so much breath control after that shit. You do one of those, you're gonna be in tip top shape. Think about it. You watched Rocky, right? And they did all that like basic shit. He's catching chickens, running up staircases, and he still lost in the first movie. Imagine how he would have won. He would have beat Apollo Creed if he was running away from black guys for the first 20 minutes of the film. Okay? That's just the truth, people. So I'm just here to tell you, just think about things before you go on the internet, watch a video, and make assumptions. Okay? Unless you're going to start a podcast called False Prophets, because making assumptions is kind of what we do. All right. This has been False Prophets with Phil Rizdon and Manny Perez. I'm Phil Rizdon. I'll see you later. Peace. That was terrible. I hate the finger guns. I'm sorry.